What is up, folks? Jorge Anito here.
Thanks for coming over.
And welcome back. Today we are going to take a look at the black Borderless mint playing cards by Asad Chandri, sent to me via Craig Roccanova. Big thanks once again to Craig for doing this. This deck is $100. That's basically a tenth of $1,000. That's crazy. And they really are worth it. We'll discuss why. And we're also going to be doing a tutorial on Lunchbox, performance I featured a couple days back. And these cards will facilitate that effect. It's a really powerful piece of tabled card magic. I think you guys will enjoy it. I know I do. I've performed it several times for people and they really seem to get a kick out of it. We'll talk about all of that, but first, let's get into this review. The mint playing cards were birthed in 2016 by Asad Chandri. You may know him from 52 Cards YouTube channel and 52 Cards online store. I would encourage you to go there, as I myself have done, and pick up some really cool, interesting decks of cards. So yeah, this deck was launched via Kickstarter with the desire to create an elegant, classy, striking, yet modern deck of cards. And so the ones, that were the two main decks that were backed, they were both bordered. This was an addition. This was an add-on feature, add-on deck. But the first was a red deck with border, and then a black bordered deck. And then anybody who backed those had the option to pick up the black Borderless. And it's the same thing that he did with the second editions, with the launch of the blue and green cucumber blueberry, both bordered, with the option to add on the frost mint white borderless cards. These things are just gorgeosity in all of its meaning. So yeah, we'll just take a quick look at these. With this deck, you will receive 2 gaff cards, double backer, Queen of Hearts, and a Joker. So you have a double facer. These cards are marked, by the way, if I haven't said that already. Just take a quick look at these aces. Look how beautiful these aces are. Each ace is given some extra attention with blowing it up there. You got the custom Ace of Spades just there, the Mint Collection luxury playing cards. And then it looks like it has some Latin just underneath. But yeah, each one has the blown up, the extra Joker. Blown up center pip. So that's always cool. I like when decks, give attention to each one of the aces. All of the court cards are going to have a very familiar feel. However, they are all custom, but they sort of maintain that bicycle mainstay look. If you could just see just there with a little bit of the lattice work on the mint back design there on the adorning headwear of each respected court character. The queens and jacks likewise are just as striking. We got the ace, Queen of Spades, Queen of Clubs, Queen of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds. Jacks follow that same pattern. That mint design just there in the headwear. Beautiful cards. So yeah, you also get identical Jokers. This deck is traditionally cut, which will facilitate easy table pharaoh shuffles, which, by the way, if you're interested in learning table pharaohs, I have a tutorial for both modern cut cards and traditionally cut cards, two very different methods of table pharaohing. They both look really cool. I'll leave a link in the description below. But these cards handle so well. And of course, it's what we all come to expect from USPCC. Just the highest quality. They are beautiful, very flexible. I was reading some of the description on the mintplayingcards.com. I think is the website. I'll also leave a link in the description as well. They have these two decks still for sale, $15 a piece. Really good cards. I love these cards. I love all of them. But I was reading the description and never heard this before, but it says they have a healthy snap. Which of course, obviously I'd mess it up, but yeah, they are snappy, but they're still flexible as well. But that healthy snap is going to come in handy here when we take a look at the Lunchbox tutorial, which we will go ahead and get into right now. Obviously, if you don't have the mint deck, it's okay because you don't necessarily need it to perform this effect. But what you will need is, I originally performed this with the Jerry's Nuggets, and I used identical jokers. Let me move this back just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I used identical jokers and a force card for the queen. The reason being is because on this double facer, we're going to be utilizing that just there. So, a quick performance, if you don't remember, I basically did a dead cut, and I cut right to the queen, and I just do that by getting a little crimp on the left corner, and that's going to be facing me, and it's just ever so slight, just a little crimp, right, and that's going to go in the middle of your cards. Now, depending how you want to perform this, whether you want the spectator to do it or yourself, everybody with COVID and being afraid of Corona, sometimes it's just best to just do the trick and just go right into it. I use a certain pattern for, Lunchbox for a younger audience, but if I was performing this for older folks or peers, I would just roll with the trick, and I wouldn't say very much of anything other than we're going to be using two jokers, and actually, ideally, you might want to use something like an ace of spade or anything other than a joker, and that is to maintain, the knowledge that there's only one joker in a deck, because a lot of people aren't familiar with two jokers being in a deck. Some people are, but, if you just use the pattern like we're going to use the joker and, the ace of spade, that just kind of helps to preserve that secret, to an extent. So, but anyway, you don't have to. For this, we're going to go ahead and use the jokers. You could do a series of false cuts, false shuffles. But you say we're going to use the two jokers here in just a second. And what we need to do is select a card from the middle. We'll use that one. And what I do is I immediately turn the deck vertical. I'll also leave a link to my original performance if you just want to see just a pure uncut from beginning to finish. I'll leave a link in the description below to that as well. But after I do the dead cut, and this is a force, you can use whatever kind of force you want, but I'm just doing a dead cut force because it was simple at the time. I turn the deck this way because what I want to do is take this queen, I'm going to display it, and I'm going to pick up about half the cards, and I'm going to throw it this way. The reason I'm throwing it in there is because I want them to see, one, that it is going in the middle, and two, whenever I use this joker, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be doing the same action. So when in reality, I'm actually going to be flipping it under the deck as it passes through. But it's conditioning them. So they see, the initial throw, and then when you do it a second time, they've already seen it once. There's not a lot to be suspicious about. So once I pick up half the deck, I throw the selection in. It's always nice if it kind of protrudes a little bit, then you could square it up. Then you can do some legitimate cuts, do some shuffles, make sure that they know that it is lost in the cards somewhere and they're seeing these legit shuffles and cuts. It's at this point, I forgot which one was the double face or that one. It's at this point where I set the deck just in the middle and I say, okay, which card? And this is just a little bit of equivoque, Magician's Force. If they point to this one, then I'll be like, okay, we're gonna exclude this one, and then we go into it. If they point to that one, I say, okay, we're going to exclude that one then, and we'll use this one. No matter where they point at, we're always going to use that card, obviously. So they point to that one, we say, okay, I'm going to put this over here, and it's important for them to get a clear visual of what's going on here. And I just kind of step away for a second just so everything can register. And then I come back in, kind of coalesce the deck, and I do a cut. Just like that. Actually, let me scoot this way. I come in, do a cut, and I do a crossfire color change, basically. Ideally, you want to catch that card like I did in the original performance with the deck slapping down. And it's all about really just practicing. Whoops. Kind of like that. I like the idea of the Joker going in this way and then the Queen coming right out here, and then the top half of the deck lands down on it. At this point, you would just simply display it. There's no need to explain. The trick is done. And that, my friends, is Lunchbox. Alright, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial, little piece of table card magic. And while I'm on the subject, let me just say that I'm especially fond of tabled work. I do a lot of in-the-hand stuff. But I'm really fond of tabled card magic, sleight of hand to be precise. There's just something about the card table that is really an extension of your card magic. You know, there's only so much you could do in the hands, but when you have a table or a surface in front of you, it's just like an added thing. It really is an extension to your card sleight of hand work. So guys, hope you enjoyed that deck review. This is the black borderless mints. Thanks, Craig, for sending these to me. Definitely putting them to good use. Guys, I hope you have a super great start to the weekend. That's what I said, right, Alejandro? Great start to the weekend. And I think I'm going to lay down. It's late. Just got off work. I'm going to hopefully not wake up like I did last night with the cats holding a hammer over top of my head. God bless, guys. We'll see you back here next time.